Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Cypress. I have the pleasure of coming to you live today. Oh man, it's been a week. It's been a heck of a week. I am a little tired this morning, but I don't like to use that excuse because everybody's tired. Everybody uses the word tired, and everybody uses the word busy. So we're just pushing through. It's no big deal. In this live, I'm going to specifically talk about Google. So I'm going to lay off of Apple a little bit, and we're going to jump on the Google train. Talk about Google and what has happened, what's going on in the news. I wanted to talk about this earlier. I was going to come on live earlier than now to talk about it, but it's sort of an interesting case or a developing case of the DOJ, Department of Justice versus Google. And what it's sort of coming down to is they're basically trying to break Google up. And so perhaps the most powerful search engine that's been made and placed on the internet, it's kind of surpassed all the other search engines, and for one reason. And I'll say Google has passed all of the search engines for this very reason, and that is advertisement. Advertisement is the name of the game. So if you can't advertise, or I shouldn't say if you can't advertise, if you don't charge businesses for advertisement, you don't get revenue. That's where your revenue comes from. I mean, I'm going somewhere with this, but the DOJ has a case out, and I guess they're building. I don't know if they're building a case, but I don't think this process, this whole lawsuit, or I don't know if it's a lawsuit, but it's a case. What they're claiming is Google has basically commandeered the entire market. And first of all, it is the biggest search engine out there. Like, there's no other search engine. I mean, and the fact of what it owns, right? Google owns YouTube. It has Google Chrome. Like, our life is built around this search engine. Believe it or not, and I just thought about this myself. When you search in Google, you put out a search in Google, say for example, you search cats or something, whatever you search, it's literally the information it's giving you is literally biased. It's biased information. It's not giving you all the information that the internet has provided. Now, this biased information that Google provides you is for a reason. And the information is based off of the advertisements that they can deliver to you, that companies have paid them to deliver this to you. So if you search a product and there's no company out there selling that product, guess what? Google's not gonna deliver that to you in search. I mean, that's just be honest. And so it's kind of on that edge of like monopoly. So that's what the Department of Justice is sort of saying. It's like, hey, you've commandeered, you've sort of cornered the market. And so, if that makes sense, companies basically, they pay for advertisements with Google, and Google sends, based off of whatever the product is, they will put those advertisements on the page that you're looking for, whatever you searched. And that's them. And I mean, that's how they make their revenue. That's how they make their money, right? So, it's like I said, it's kind of on the edge of like, okay, monopoly. Now, what's interesting is that, with the introduction of AI, I mean, you have you have sort of all of these companies that are building these AI engines, and it's really gonna be a mess. I would say, another piece of information: Google has like a $40 billion deal. They have like $40 billion deal. That's the total revenue. And I'm just giving information, and we're just talking. They're dealing with Apple and with Microsoft. So when you get an iPhone, an Android or whatever, computer, Windows, it doesn't matter, MacBook, whatever device you get, Google has their basically the deal says that the search engine, Apple and Microsoft, has to provide you the search engine on your computer or your iPhone. So Google Chrome, I mean, they're really sort of driven into the market. And so I would say, I mean, it's sort of obvious, right? Like, because everybody uses Google. I mean, some people prefer not to use Google, and I understand, because the advertisements are so heavy. The Department of Justice, this would be the first time a company has been broken up, potentially, since 1984, I think. So it's basically like 40 years. I think they tried to do it to Microsoft like 10 years ago, or 2010, somewhere in there. They tried to do the same thing to Microsoft. So these big companies, they're like, I think they're really chasing a rabbit hole, to be honest with you, because, it would have a ripple effect for sure. Definitely have a ripple effect. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think this process is going to be like it's going to be it's not going to be a short process, like, so the other thing to this is Google they have subsidiary companies, and they keep buying these companies. Like, so it makes it really hard for venture capitalism, which is startup companies, basically. You have startup companies that try to start, and Google will, like, if you aren't paying up on your advertisements, you'll have a hard time on the internet, because people search, and they're searching for you. Not to mention it has Google. So, not to mention it has YouTube. So these smaller companies, and the fact that Google they're also like so big that they're just buying companies left and right. So Google's operating system is Android. So Android's system basically runs Google's entire, how they operate. Google also has Google Chrome. So what they're trying to do is, I believe what they're saying is they're gonna try to break Google up into like 3 parts and separate Google Chrome, separate the operating system, because once again, it's all about advertisement. That's the name of the game. Is if you can't advertise, you don't win, because companies need advertisement to get themselves out there. And back to my first point, the most surprising thing for me is, like, when you search something, like, so when you search Google, y'all can talk to me back in the comments. Who goes to the second page of Google search? Does anybody ever do that? I'm famous for doing that, because I know the stuff that they're sort of throwing in my face. The first 1 to 2 to 3 pieces of information that pop up are basically driven by advertisements. So it may not even necessarily be a true thing, or a true piece of information, or the best information that you've searched. It's really the advertisement. How many when you do a Google search, do you go to the second page? Well, how it says 1 of 2 or 1 of 7 or whatever. Do you do that? Let me know in the comments. And also, everybody, hey, let me know where where you're watching from. I'm driving, so I can't necessarily look right now. Let me know where you're sort of tuning in from. And those of you that have just joined, I'm basically talking about this antitrust case that the Department of Justice is basically saying Google is a monopoly for reasons that they have sort of basically said, okay, we'll let you search on our search engine, but we're actually going to deliver to you what we want to deliver, or whatever you search. We're going to provide the information, but it's only going to be information that we have received money and advertisements from companies. So it's like being the biggest toy store. It's like being the biggest toy store in the market. Like you're the biggest toy store, and you won't let any other company sell toys. Like your toy is your toy store. You won't let anybody else. Basically, you have all the toys, right? So that's kind of the breakdown of that. So yeah, I'm interested to see what your comments. What do you think about it? Do you think this is going to be a long process? I personally do. I don't think, I think with the integration of AI, and that's another sort of technology war, like the AI, ChatGPT versus Gemini. I believe Microsoft has their own, ChatGPT is sort of become a household, another search engine, right? The way I heard it this way is Apple has their AI, which is not going to be very good apparently. People are already testing it. They sort of say ChatGPT's engine is like talking to, like the 10 most smartest people in the world, just having them in the room and like typing, what should I eat for dinner? And my daughter needs gluten-free food, and it just, it's like having the smartest person in the room tell you what to do. So it's like talking to a graduate student, you know what I mean? That's done like 45 minutes or 45,000 minutes or 45 hours of study, and they, it's in your pocket. You can basically get answers. That's ChatGPT. Apparently Apple's AI is like talking to a 5-year-old. So get ready for that. Gemini, which is, I believe that's Google's AI, is like talking to a 3rd grader. So ChatGPT is leading. It's not really going anywhere. I don't think I don't think it's gonna be overtaken by any. But with this lawsuit with Google, it could. You know what I mean? It really could start an upset of the apple cart in terms of advertisement, in terms of search engines, because if it does, let's say 5 years down the road, if it does end up just being this big, huge thing, because like AI is really where it's at. Like that's the next thing. Like I know Apple is like trying to figure out what are we gonna do, what piece of technology. I mean, it's really AI. AI is really where it's at. But if ChatGPT gets as big as Google, and it has the potential to surpass, because it's all about the search engine. That's what we do. Like, guys, we search for things. We want information. This is technology age of information. It's all about what information sort of can I have at my fingertips. So if they do become a company that becomes just huge, the Google lawsuit could set a precedent for companies to come. So we're just kind of sitting back and watching. And for those of you that are just joining me, I kind of explained the whole lawsuit situation. Man, I keep calling it a lawsuit. It's not a lawsuit. It's a case versus Google. I kind of explained that of how and why they're sort of wanting to break Google up as a company. Man, according to them, it's just gotten too big. It's gotten really big, and that's advertisements. If you follow the advertisements, like you hear the saying, follow the money, right? Well, in this case, follow the advertisements, because those companies that are paying all this money in advertisements, they're paying all this money in advertisements, and Google's like, okay, whoever pays for advertisements, I'll push your content out in front. And for those of you that are familiar with content, Google content, or I shouldn't say content, like content creation, those of you who are familiar with that, like SEO, search engine optimization, like, if you're a company, if you have a website online, basically, if somebody searches and they don't get you in the first, 3 or 4, and like priority 1, 2, 3, or 4, you're not going to get recognized. Somebody says, is that fair? I don't know. So yeah, I'm seeing who is talking. But yeah, what are your comments? Give me your comments about, now we're talking technology, we're talking AI, we're talking search engines. Who's in here? Somebody says, do you believe our society will go cashless in the next 5 years? Yes, we technically, we have already gone cashless. If you think about it, when's the last time you pulled out a dollar bill? Like, let's just be honest. When's the last time you've done that? Not to mention, everything is on your phone. You can basically purchase product on your phone, have your cash or your money is already connected to your bank. So yeah, I would say that we're already there. We are already cashless. Like, I mean, it's even some companies, some countries. I was in a country not too long ago where they didn't even take change under like 50 cents or something. Like, they just, yeah, it's just pointless, right? So anyway, somebody says cash is king. Yeah, it still is, I guess. So yeah, cash is king. Yeah, cool. Tell me where you guys are watching from, because we're live. I don't think I see any more comments. Any more comments? Okay, guys, that's it. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining and checking me out. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. We're up here at least 2 or 3 times a week. Alrighty, like and subscribe to the channel. All right, see you soon.